Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Happy Sunday. Happy Championship Football Sunday. So exciting, right? Got my apparel on, as you can see, a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. From New Jersey. Live in New Jersey. Jaguars fan. It's a long story I got. Not really, I guess. Right? As a kid, I played a lot of Madden, and I liked playing with the Jaguars, and that's just what resonated with me. It's unfortunate And if I could go back in time and talk to my younger self, I would warn him that he was about to pick the worst team in the league, 9 out of 10 years, right? So, if you're wondering why there's a turd in the shape of a cat on my chest, it's actually the Jacksonville Jaguars logo, right? But, yeah, so Championship Sunday, what is it? Chiefs send Bengals and Rams, 49ers. Let's go, dude. Let me know who you got, right? We got any Bengals fans in here? Unlikely, right? The other big cat, a little bit jealous. But good for them, man. I hope they make it through the Super Bowl. I would love to also see Stafford in there. Right? I think he's earned that at this point by playing with another terrible big cat. All the big cats in the league are pretty awful. Right? Even the Panthers. Who else is it? Jags, Panthers, Bengals, Lions. It's all the cats, I think. If I'm missing one, let me know. But yeah, they're all pretty bad, except now the Bengals are get a couple rookies on there, and they're off to the races, man. It's good for them. But yeah, Sunday stream. Let's get after it, shall we? Let's take a look at Bitcoin. All right, we'll start it off, as always, with Bitcoin. Let's take a look at what's going on. We've been getting some relief the past few days, right? Ever since January 22nd, so the last week or so, we've been getting some decent price action, right? And getting a bit of a retrace, some relief after the dumping that we had going on earlier. And we've been talking about it all week, right? This is nothing surprising. What they often do, I've been saying this over and over, is that they often retrace to the 50% fib node, right, on these downtrends, ultimately before rejecting and just making another lower high and continuing down to either back test the low at 33,000 and try to hold it with some kind of divergence or something, or just continue down to the next level of support, which in Bitcoin's case, going to be right down here. It's like 30,000, right? So this low down here. All right, you've already tested the 50% fib node once. That was on January 26th and rejected off of it. Yesterday, you rejected off of it, came back down. Now you're just kind of holding, doing nothing, down less than 1% so far. But a close below might signal as confirmation that this was the test yesterday and send us back towards 33,000. So in no way should you be buying Bitcoin right now. And with that being said, you shouldn't be buying really any altcoins right now, given that Bitcoin is at a very common reversal area, right? If you buy an alt right now and Bitcoin does hit this and decides to roll back down, the altcoin's getting destroyed. And I don't care if it's got another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% upside for that alt, right? You're going to be disappointed if and when Bitcoin decides to roll over. And again, the argument that Bitcoin is going to roll here is because you do not have any kind of divergence or anything at this low. There's no sign of sellers being exhausted. In fact, on the daily, you officially have hidden bearish divergence on the MACD if you pivot below $44,594, right? 44.6, I want to say, this high back here from January 12th. So you pivot, you make a lower high to this, okay? You will have that hidden bearish divergence on the daily time frame. Hidden bearish divergence being continuation to the downside. Danny, Obe coin, you just buy every day. You don't even dollar cost average. You just empty your life savings into it every time you get paid. Every paycheck, 100% of the paycheck, right into it, right? It's a winner, guaranteed. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it. That's actually Obe Coin's slogan, right? Men's Warehouse ripped us off. What's up, Danny? Happy Sunday, man. Excited for some football.
Okay. Are you guys having a killer time?
But, yeah. So, look. All right. This is exactly where we would expect Bitcoin to pivot down to test the low again. So, you just need to be patient. Right? If there was such a thing as Obe Coin, I'd check it out. I can make it, maybe. Maybe we could make it, right? Your tech and my Tech and A. My Tech A? I don't know. I could analyze the coin as you're making it, since you're the computer savvy one, but yeah. So just be patient, right? And if it does go, okay, whoop-de-doo, you go up to 40 maybe, test 40,000. There's just a ton of resistance up here. All right, let's get the moving averages in here. You know, even at this point, right, you need to make a higher high than this local high here, or else you're going to get that continuation to the downside indicator. You have the 50-day moving average waiting up for you there now as well, so it's like, with no divergence or anything, I see no reason for this to get up and start breaking strong levels of resistance at strong Fibonacci retraces, okay? I just don't see it. Just don't see it. So you might need to honestly give it like a few days, like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, and then on the 10th day, oh my goodness, he hath risen, perhaps on the 10th day. Okay, or he hath fallen even further, and then we look down here, right? This would be the next level to look for a strategic entry on it, right? If you're just impatient, you just want to buy whenever. Tech and A, dude, Tech and A. F and A. That's rad. But yeah, man. So just be patient. We move it to the 4 hour to try and confirm our fears here. So let me clean it up a little bit, right? We had the hidden bearish divergence played out a little bit, but played out kind of weak and developed somewhat of a inverse head and shoulders type of thing. It's kind of sloppy, so it's like, eh. But the low, the lower low, and then the higher low, right? But ultimately what you're getting here, if we zoom in on this, all right, because we're going off of the bodies when we go with divergence. So if we're going off the bodies, you do have a slightly higher high going on in price with lower high developing on the MACD, right? And shifting towards the downside. So you've got this going on. So you've got a slightly higher high with a lower high developing on the MACD, all right? Don't really have it on the RSI. It's close. It's like the same high. So still not great. You want it to be substantially higher highs on the oscillators when you're making higher highs, just to get that confluence. But you're showing exhaustion now at the 50% fib node, seemingly kind of doing a little double top action, right? Something like this, even with a lower low. You didn't even get all the way back up there. So you couldn't even come up to test 40. It's just, if this hidden bearish divergence plays out, or I'm sorry, this would be class A bearish divergence, reversal stuff, you know, pretty strong, then especially in downtrends like this, the bearish indicators overperform, right? They're stronger usually. So I mean, yeah, it could just get, you know, and it won't just be straight down. You might get something like this, right? But ultimately would send you back down to retest 33,000. All right, so just again another ingredient to favor that the resistance is holding as resistance, and that the downside is about to happen. All right, so just keep it in mind, man. This could be the absolute worst time to be buying Bitcoin. Okay, and we've been saying that. We've been saying that it commonly retraces to the 50% level in these downtrends. It's done it many times, especially with no divergence. It's there again, seemingly rejecting it for a second time. So it's a confirmation with some of this class A bearish divergence. It's just not good. Not good at all. All right, so that's it right now. We can move it to the hourly even. We've seen anything on an hourly time scale to help us out? No, there's nothing. Except class A bearish divergence that was going on back here. All right, you see what I'm saying? The higher high in price with the lower high on the oscillator. All right, so I'm not seeing anything that's making me feel confident that we're going to break through the 50% retrace and break through 40,000, something like that. Just not seeing it, so who knows, man. Tomorrow could be a pretty violent selling day, but I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see that for sure. Can't guarantee it. I'm just telling you the odds favor the Bears right now, okay? Unfortunately, it's not the NFL. It's also another trash team. But where there's trash, you'll be able to get some good draft picks or something one day to be good again. But yeah, Bitcoin, all right? Downside seems likely, back to 33. Hold it, that's where we want to look for an entry, potentially, okay? Gotta wait for it to get there, though. Ethereum, let's move it over. Danny, let's try to redeem you, dude. Maybe Sundays are good luck for you or something. Oh, maybe not. Hope you didn't put any bets in. All right. That's just one ingredient for you that your luck today might not be that good. Let's do it for myself, because I also I have some bets in, right? So let's see. I got a little parlay guy. Okay, I'm gonna lose. Cool. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to losing my money. I'm happy here in the dumpster. Thank you very much. Yeah, dude, no problem, man. You like hanging out with your beets and your onions and your turnips, right? Making sure the soil's nice and fresh. Coming home with dirty hands, but knowing you put in a good day's work. Let's go. That's what the peasant represents, right? Happiness with minimal material goods, I guess, right? You've got your little peasant wife and maybe a couple squirts running around, right? Bessie out in the field mooing because she's got to be milked. You can send one of them out there, and then you have a nice bonding experience with your child, right? And then the child gets kicked in the chest by a hoof, and the doctors don't think he's going to make it, but you say a prayer and you spin the wheel and you get Zeus, and he comes back to life. But now you owe Zeus. You owe him a favor, right? So now he takes your cow. You have to sacrifice Bessie, and it's sad for the whole family, but ultimately you grow stronger together from it, right? It's beautiful. Let's move it to Ethereum, man. Taking a look at Ethereum, all right? Similar deal going on. I don't think it even got to its 50, though, so it's only getting to its 382. We're looking at the daily right now, right? This local high that we had going on up here, okay? That's the high. That did just keep going, dude, I know. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I just go off. I just can't stop until I have a happy ending. Very specific, okay? Is there any other way to be? If you're not specific, why don't you get the hell out of here? All right? Your local high back here at like $3,400. Okay.
Okay.
So again, you're making this low, you're holding. This was I believe Ethereum only even got to its 786, right? Only got to the 786 from your July low. Call it a little reaction at it. Add an inflection point back here, right? Where this arrow is pointing. So you had some resistance support at a fib node, some confluence, and you caught some support, right? Only got you up to this low. So this inflection point back here from the 24th of September. You did get up a little bit into this zone of resistance, which I do believe that was the zone of the 50% retrace. Not quite. Maybe it's a little more obvious on the 4 hour or something. Actually, you know what? Let's move it to the 4 hour. Take a look at that. So you just had all kinds of you had an inverse head and shoulders inside of an inverse head and shoulders. Whoa. All right, let's take it from this one. Yep, there we go. So this little peak here on the 4 hour, you couldn't really see it on the daily, but on the 4 hour, this little light of mine right here. Now, if we're treating that as the high even, then it came down, right? Retraced up to the 50% mark at the 50% fib node before rejecting down and closing below that area of confluence that we were just looking at, right? And then ultimately came down, created a little inverse head and shoulders on the, I guess that's the right shoulder of this bigger one, which is kind of interesting, right? Caused some support, some love. We had this little resistance here applied last time I was here, but ultimately double top type of situation impending at historical support resistance, and same kind of deal, right? You have made a higher high in price as far as the bodies go, right? So you've made a higher high in price, and you are developing Class A bearish divergence. Okay. You don't only, not even just on the, oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Only on the MACD. You don't have it on the RSI. But still, right? Not good. Double topping near what was support, now acting as resistance. It's just bad, man, right? Like, if the whole point of this is we want the asset to retest its lows, right? Comes down, and then here is where we're super interested for it to hold, because that's confirming the bottom. What we're looking at on the inverse here is just confirming the top, right? It came up, it came down, it came up here, right? This is where if you're buying here at the bottom, it's confirming the bottom, then you're shorting it up here because it's confirming the top. You see what I'm saying? Double top, bad. Downside, most likely. Double bottom, good. Confirmation of the bottom, the low. And that's when you start getting bullish divergence and stuff. You're getting double tops with bearish divergence. It is not the time to be buying. Okay? But it's okay because it's following potentially, right? It's there. So we'll see if it follows this theory and, what happens oftentimes in technical analysis with this kind of stuff. We'll see if it gets respected, but definitely there's no reason to suggest that it's going to just continue and break through the support now, showing, bearish indicators with no bullish divergence or anything. No. So just hold off, man. Hold off, all right? $2,000 is like the 886, which, again, was just more likely for an asset to go to anyway. So the 886 has a, psychological 2,000 with historical peaks, support, right, resistance, all that kind of stuff. 2,000 is a much better potential entry, especially than where you are right now. But even at the bottom of this, even if you get back to the 786 and to this inflection point here in July, the 886 and 2000 is just a much better entry. All right, it just is overall. So that's where we want it to go. We want it down at 2000, and then we want it to do this. Okay. We catch it here if it's showing the divergence and the bullish engulfing candles and all that good stuff. All right. That's pretty much it though. Ethereum actually had a little bit of. So Ethereum even had Class A bullish divergence going on the MACD, and just pathetic price action off of it. Just further confirmation that the downside is still intact, the downtrend. We get even so when we put the moving averages in here, look what you had on December 27th, right? Or January 27th. You just had a death cross, all right here. So Ethereum a couple days ago just had its death cross. It's just crap, dude. You're at resistance with a death cross and bearish divergence at a 50% reach, or not even at the 382. Still a fib node though, technically. So just underperforming a lot of other assets and at resistance. Okay. So don't be surprised if this week coming up we start seeing some pretty heavy selling. All right. Let's move it to total with that in mind. Total market cap here. All right, the 4 lower highs going on. Also, kind of looks like Ethereum. All right, we go from the high that we had here to the low. Didn't even quite make it to the 382 even, right? And you're trying to just get above this this support now acting as resistance from September 21st right here. You're trying to get above that. That also had a peak back here, February 26th, right? This inflection here, but you couldn't even really get to that. And it's showing the same kind of thing. No bullish divergence on the daily time scale. 4 hour, I don't think. So the 4 hour doesn't quite have the Class A bearish divergence, but, same kind of deal. You've got the top up here, treated that inflection point as resistance, came down, now making a lower high. You see what I'm saying? And the RSI didn't quite have the bearish divergence necessarily, but it's just weakness. And if this is just a measurement of all of the assets, Bitcoin, everything included, with Bitcoin and all those looking to roll over, you don't really need this to look like exactly it's going to roll over. if Bitcoin rolls over. This is just going down with it, right? And it's going down to, let's see, on the daily, it'll come back down to this inflection point back here from March 25th, right? So you had support here, touched it again, support here. All right, I believe this is actually the 786 as well. All right, 786 confluent in that area. So yeah, that's a level of support. You would come down to test 1.52 trillion. Ultimately, falling below that, the next level of support would be about 1.369, which for the entire market is a further drawdown of about 19%. So, not great. How about you, Danny? You got anything? You do any sports gambling, anything like that? Even just small stuff? You seemed pretty interested in the game over at Poseidon's house, no? But, yeah. So, 886, more common area to go to. The Cyan. Move to Cardano. Alright. Cardano hanging around the $1 area for a little too long. Alright, it's kind of overstaying its welcome. It is showing some slight Class A bullish divergence going on, lower low with the higher low only on the RSI. Don't have it on the MACD. It's just trying to hold on for dear life. All right, and let me see here. I think this had some kind of harmonic. 618. 1272. The only thing this could really be is like a crab, but not even, because B to D would just be too insane. Or C to D, I mean, right? It would just be too far. So no formal harmonic, at least in that area. Nothing great. Oh, and even with like Ethereum, move to the 4 hour here. No, I might have been, actually, I think it's on a different asset. But a lot of assets are starting to show stuff like this. So they're actually starting to show like bearish bats and stuff up in this kind of area. It's not with Ethereum, but even if Ethereum broke out, right, bearish bats are putting a lot of assets up around their 200-day moving average. So you'll have bearish harmonics showing before you overtake your local highs. All right, so that's just it, man. When you're in downtrends like this, it's the same way on the way up for bears. On the way up, when you're just making higher lows, bearish harmonics present themselves and they underperform terribly. So we're on the other side of the fence now. We're on the other side of the coin, so that you've got to be careful and look for bearish harmonics in this state, because they will probably overperform and are more reliable in a downtrend, okay? So just keep it in mind. If you want to start scanning and painting the bearish harmonics, looking for those to see if there is a couple more days of upside, sure, but be careful of them when they do present themselves. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that because on the way up they were pathetic and weak, that on the way down they'll still be pathetic and weak. They are most likely stronger, and on the flip side of that, bullish harmonics are going to be weaker. They're going to underperform. So while you can throw it on your argument of relief and reversal and support at the pattern completion zone of a bullish harmonic, the play is probably going to be a bit weaker until we start doing that double bottom divergent stuff, all right, and then start making higher lows, higher highs, all right. Until that really starts happening, there's no way to guarantee that bullish indicators will not underperform, all right. This is like scalper territory with what it's doing right now. Hits a level of support, bounces up 50% before continuing down, right? If you're trying to catch that 50% upswing, by all means, go for it. That's not necessarily swing trading, though, okay? We're trying to catch the trend reversal so that we can just hang on to it for, a couple weeks, a month, and just get the gains upward continuously, right? But yeah, Cardano, let's see. Move it at the 4 hour. There's no bearish divergence or anything. It's just going sideways. All right, right around the 50-day moving average. Take a look at the weekly. Still just trying for dear life to hang on to $1. This is what I don't like about Cardano, right? You wiped out your potential for hidden bullish divergence, which almost seemed like a guarantee back in the day. Back in like November, it was like, there's no way it gets below $1.20. It's going to pivot like here probably, right? And then we'll get the hidden bullish divergence and it'll continue on forever. Whoops, wrong button. But that hidden bullish divergence is gone. All right, there's no chance for it now. You're below that low. It's just gone. It's unfortunate. But and remember, if you fall below the dollar, right, you might get some help at the 113 at like 70 cents. But I mean, even then, was that 30% drawdown from $1? So your first level of support is 30% below that dollar mark on Cardano. And then the 1272 is just more confluent with some stronger support, I would say. So, I mean, even from there, it's just another, 40%. So all in all, break $1. And you're likely going down like 60% down to this 40 cent level, maybe 50 cent. And that's because it's confluent with this point back here. Come on, arrow. From May of 2018, all right, to this inflection point back here. That's why we're looking at that as being a stronger level of support than otherwise. But it's this stuff, man. When you do this and go straight up, on the way back down, it's not as fun, right? And $1 is really the main level of support. So, Bitcoin, and what you need to think with this, because it's at the dollar, it literally has no room to go down further, really. You haven't closed below $1 in forever, since February. Bitcoin rolls over here, dollar's not holding. So, you're heading down to these levels if Bitcoin just rolls over really at all, right? And the market reacts and goes crazy. The dollar's not going to hold. And Cardano's already kind of had its top stuff, right? It's confirmation of the top. So it doesn't look good, man. Moving to another big player, Binance Coin, similar stuff, right? This one was also underperforming, got to its 382 inflection points, couldn't take back its, support resistances. This was actually playing off the 886, I believe, from, this isn't the July low, it's September low. So right around the 886 from its September low. Okay. I think it's from its July low, which is a little different than some other assets. It's like, oh no, I'm sorry, 786 of its July low. So if it's at the 786 of its July low, then that was the 886 of its September low. Alright, the 886 down here. Okay, so, and this is just an example of confluence. So this low to high from July is a legitimate Fibonacci, and this low to high from September is also legitimate Fibonacci. So when I say confluence, what I mean is they both have their sets of Fibonacci numbers. The 886 from the September low is pretty close to the 786 from the July low. So what you could do in that case is just, if you're looking just for a zone, right, a strong zone potential to see it reverse, you could just do something like this, okay? That's your in between the two strong Fibonacci levels. All right. Cool. Move it to Avalanche. I'm going to move this right along. This is going to be a long one. Not really getting too much interaction or anything anyway. So I'm just going to finish out the list here. Just touch on some popular coins. Avalanche on the daily. Edge. No bullish divergence. Holding on to this inflection point back here from October 12th. Cool. All right. Back above this inflection point back here from February 10th and above the 200-day moving average for now. The problem with Avalanche, besides having no divergence on the daily, and if we move it back to the daily, you can see your next level that you would try and break is here. All right, this inflection at around 79, about $80. Ultimately, that also lines up from your local high here. And that's at like the 618. So that's the golden mean ratio. That's an even stronger level for assets to reverse at, you know, confluent with your resistance on the way back up. And if we move it to the 4 hour, clean this up a little bit. So move it to the 4 hour, same thing, right? Higher high in price. Lower high on the MACD, seemingly Class A bearish divergence. Okay, reversal back towards the downside. And on Avalanche, I do believe you actually have, all right, this 382, the 886 lining up closely to the 200-day moving average at that point, right around the resistance above. So throw a bearish harmonic on there as well. It's just like this whole zone right here. Just strong resistance right there. All right, 200-day moving average, bearish divergence, pattern completion zone of a bearish bat, and horizontal resistance looking left. So just, dude, this is just not the time to be buying the asset. And really, you're in like the middle of a range from $60 to $80, $6.75. So could be a coin toss. Maybe it heads up there to try and test that strong resistance with Bitcoin looking weak, at which point it goes down, or it just rolls over here and, you know, heads down to, I guess we're looking at the daily. You'll come back to maybe touch this this peak from back here, but most likely heading down to like 51 bucks. All right. Avalanche. Let's move to Sand. Sandbox.
Right.
So Sandbox is actually an outperformer compared to a lot of other assets. And remember, Sandbox was the beautiful kind of potential Gartley we had going on. All right, the 618, the 786 lining up perfectly with this, you know, inflection point back here from November 2nd. Or it got a little bit deeper, got down to like the 886 before catching reversal, which is fine, makes sense too. Sandbox actually had a pretty good run in this this little relief rally, up like 80% from its wick low, back above that inflection point. But again, similar kind of thing, right? No divergence on the daily. Let's take a look at where it is on its Fibonacci retrace from its high, right? You know, rejecting seemingly now from getting to the 618. Really got over the 50% retrace, that common area, and is now below it. Okay, so rejecting the 50% retrace mark today, happening right now. Move it to the 4 hour. Similar stuff on the MACD. You know, lower high going on than previous with, we're doing this. All right, lower highs on the oscillator, higher high going on, showing exhaustion. Don't have it on the RSI, so it's not super strong, but still not great. You're just really coming up on strong resistance, man. And Sandbox is no different. If Bitcoin rolls over, which seems likely where it's currently at, Sandbox also coming back down to that peak at like 330, and then ultimately come back to the low here at like $2.50. All right. At that point, 886 will be right around where the 200-day moving average is. So, dude, Sandbox, man, keep an eye on it. If it comes down here, that could be a really good entry point on Sandbox, right around here. All right. At that point, maybe you get some Class A bullish divergence stuff. So this is the thing. These release and these rallies will likely fail. But in their failure, because you're not too high in the positive momentum on the daily, as you start selling off and this starts heading back towards the red, you're going to be approaching support levels. And if they hold and you get something like this, then you have your Class A bullish divergence, right? And you'll have it on the RSI at that point as well. So in a few days, there might be some really, really good opportunities for a lot of stuff, okay? That make a lot more sense to get into than right now. So got to be patient in these times. When you're seeing this kind of stuff, where the assets currently are, let them reset back down to their supports and wait to see like divergence on a daily time scale. All right, then the trade setups will be coming. and the possibilities at that time to make some good money are there. But just don't rush, don't be impatient, and feel like you just have to get in now because the stuff's been going up and people are, I've been making money, I got in at $2.93 and I'm up, I'm way up, right? I think it's going up to $5.36, and then you're like, oh god, I don't want to miss out on that. You start to FOMO. That's what most people do. They buy in now because it's going up, and then in reality it's the worst time to strategically get in, and it's a sell off, and then they lose their money, and then they're pissed, and then it's dumpy now, it's going to continue, when's it going to stop, right? And everyone's scared, nobody wants to be buying when it's down. You just do it in reverse and opposite, and that's just the psychology of the market, of how it happens. But when you look at this stuff, you learn this stuff, it makes a lot more sense, you feel a lot more calm, right? And if it does reverse and goes to $20, whatever, man, it's just a freak thing. I'm not going to be pissed about it, because 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. So when playing my odds, it's okay. I'll let those go. There's too many opportunities to care about assets that do crazy runs for no real reason, all right?
Nope.
Move to the other metaverse coin, Mana. Centraland doing a similar kind of thing. So Mana actually has this interesting bullish shark harmonic presenting itself down here around $1.09. All right, and that's a pretty good one, right? Came down to the 618, to the 1414, ultimately down to the 886. Right, down in this zone where you also then have your, support, and it makes more sense after this ridiculous 156% daily run, like, insane. And we throw Fibonacci from the low to the high, right? So you can see the 886 around there, confluency, right? So this is the area that makes sense to be getting Decentraland at. Unless it comes down and starts treating this area back in May as support, okay, like this, right, and holds, then the conversation's a little bit different, and we need to see what the oscillators and the Japanese candlesticks look like here, right? We need to see what it's doing here. If you have the divergence on both time scales, and both oscillators, and you get like an engulfing or something here, that's a different story, man. Then it makes sense. But these levels down here make even more sense, and the fact that you didn't have the divergence or anything, you're probably going to go down to them and start painting better entry points, okay? Get it? I know it's kind of like a broken record, repeating myself a lot there, but that's it. Let's look at Solana. Same thing, right? We've been talking about Solana. Solana's been very underperforming, right? It's been bad. Let's see. Bring it down to the low. Couldn't even get to its 382, right? Pathetic. Couldn't get to this inflection back here from at $120. Didn't get close. Not moving. Which just tells you that nobody is buying Solana right now. People are buying, Sand and Mana and Avalanche and Binance Coin a little, some of these other altcoins. Tezos, right? They're buying those right now. Nobody is looking at Solana, which isn't good for Solana's price. If you are selling a product and nobody's paying attention to it, nobody's buying it, at points of the macro looking like it's going to roll over, is that an indication that it's a good asset? No, there's no interest. And if there's no interest at this point and Bitcoin rolls over, dude, it's getting dumped real hard. All right, and it's coming down to these levels at like $50. All right. So just keep it in mind. Also about to death cross. You can see it right here, right? It's approaching its 200-day moving average, the 50-day. So it's about to cross even, dude. Solana, again, like I said last stream, dude, Solana could just be that coin that had all the hype, the Ethereum killer, and just gets absolutely destroyed. And just kind of humbles people and like, oh, okay, I was certain it was going to be the one. And then you have just more educated traders from that point, dude. That's what it takes a lot of times, is to get destroyed, right? It's an expensive lesson that you learn from, because up until that point, you made a ton of money on the way up, right? It's heavenly. And then it's like, I know what I'm doing, yay. And then it's like you get destroyed. It's like, whoa, what happened? And then you kind of reevaluate, you reassess, and then hopefully you come out of it a little bit smarter. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. There's really not much interaction going on here, so I'm going to cut it there. Get ready to watch some football. Hope you guys Have a good rest of the day. Enjoy it, right? I hope you guys hit your parlays and you're covering those spreads, right, as Jamie Foxx would say. But yeah, everybody that's in here, Danny, appreciate it. Anybody watching this later, appreciate it. Hit the like, the bell, the subscription, right? Help the channel out to get some eyes on it. Join the Discord, the Instagram, the Twitter, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for the Monday stream. But until then, keep it real, keep it cool, keep it fresh, keep it majestic or something. I don't know. But more important than any of those, keep it technical. Our plays.